Hi there, it's Denise Eckert, and I love coming on here and sharing different ideas and practices to help you lower the stress in your life. And today I've got Lara Bokovay, and she's a certified intuitive life and executive coach who helps women, especially moms, heal generational cycles, regulate their nervous systems, and move from survival to calm, empowered living. She blends intuitive guidance with gentle frequency-based tools to support deep emotional and cellular health. Welcome, Laura.
Thanks so much for having me.
And I'd like to know what inspired you to do this type of work.
It was really a reflection of my own journey. As many entrepreneurs, our businesses pivot over the years and been where I've landed currently when it comes to nervous system regulation. That's been one of the final pulls or thread pulls in my own healing journey. And it truly is such a foundational piece to most healing work. So it's through my own journey, it's been a reflection.
Awesome. So now it seems to me the nervous system and dealing with that seems to be quite a buzzword. Now, for someone that's not familiar, can you give us the Reader's Digest version of exactly what that does in our system and our healing?
Nervous system pretty much means that your body goes into fight or flight. So it's stored emotional trauma in your body on a cellular level. And so when something is going wrong or something's been hit in us, a trigger, a shadow, a discomfort, anything that sort of strikes a chord within us, our body goes into survival mode. And so fight or flight. And when your nervous system is dysregulated, that could look like so many different things. That could look like you going into fight or flight or fawn when you just freeze, or it could be doom scrolling, or it could be raising your voice, or you could get agitated, or you could want to sleep all the time. There's so many different ways that nervous system dysregulation shows up in our life. But when you cannot be present, when you cannot hear what's going on, your nervous system is dysregulated. So many of us call it stress or anxiety or all that kind of stuff. But truly, the base layer is that your nervous system throughout your body is going into, I need to protect, I need to stay safe. And it's really your method of survival.
You know what I like comparing it to is when you're driving and you almost have that near miss and your whole body just tenses up. And I say to women, that's when you're in survival mode and you're living like that all the time. Therefore, your body is not healing. You're not supporting your organs. You're not supporting your body in any way. Now, how do we change that? Like, how do we go from that crazy survival stress mode into safety?
It's a complex topic, but generally, it's first being able to recognize that you're even in survival mode. Building up your self awareness is the first step, really. Yes, there's tools and somatic breathing modalities and supplementation that can all support the nervous system on a cellular level, but the first stage in nervous system regulation or in calm is just to name it, to have the level of self-awareness being like something is off. So first we actually need to have the awareness of when we are triggered, when we are hit. And just like you said with the car, it's our body goes into this adrenaline stage, right? There's so many different things that we don't even realize is nervous system, but essentially when your nervous system is calm, you feel safe. So your mind can catch up with your body. And in some instances, your body can catch up with your mind. So if your mind knows you're safe, your body gets to catch up. But through my own work and the work that I do, when your body's calm, then the mind can catch up as well too. So it's a full circle moment. And a lot of times when it's first having the awareness, when you have the awareness, then you could start doing unraveling, number one, if that's truth that you're still not safe, and then rewiring, reprogramming, reconditioning yourself to realize that you're safe. So there's both the mental and emotional aspects of nervous system regulation, but then there's also, we could do all that emotional work, and our bodies, because we're animalistic beings, our bodies will still feel like it's under attack or under threat, even when it's not. If you've ever heard about fascia massages or anything like that, we store so much trauma in our fascia, in our muscles, in our psoas for so many women. So, depending on where your body is tight, that correlates with different emotional things. When we talk about nervous system, it's not just to snap us out of something, it's to truly bring down the inflammation and help heal our body. Even when I've had injuries myself and I've worked with different practitioners, one of the first things that they ran on me from a different sound therapy type of things were different things to calm my nervous system, to take me out of fight or flight so that my body could actually receive the healing for my torn Achilles or my broken hand or whatever the case was. First, my body needed to say, whoa, okay, you're safe. Let's bring down that inflammation so your body's not screaming or in that frozen state and can actually receive the healing work.
Love that. Now, are there, like, for someone that's listening right now, are there any little steps or little things they can do to get them to step back from that being in that stress mode?
Breath work is really powerful. So there's little things like breath work, to whether it's pausing, whether it's the 4 count inhale, hold for 4, release for 4. There's so many different types of actual breath work things that you can do in the moment. Also recognizing that you're triggered so you don't project. And so whether that, if you can step away, go somewhere, have a pause, take a couple breaths. That's really in the moment of some somatic work and breath work. One of my favorites is having a warm shower, because warm water calms the sympathetic nervous system. So it helps your body come back into balance. And then there's tons of supplementation on the market, different things that have been trendy for cortisol levels, all that kind of stuff. So when we talk about stress and stress hormones and cortisol, that's all nervous system related. And then there's also different things like that I work with, different technologies and devices that help your body heal on a cellular level, your nervous system. So you're both doing the mental and emotional work, and then you're also giving your body different tools to help support it along the way.
I'm dying to know what tools that you use to do this work.
So there's two different frequency technologies. One is a sound frequency. So it's frequency specific microcurrent. So it's using different hertz frequencies to pinpoint different cells in your body to come back into homeostasis. So there's different devices. So many of us have listened to different hertz music, all that kind of stuff. And so that's sound frequencies. In the device, it sends actual specific hertz pulses that can, like, that resonant, there's a resonance effect in your body. And so that's one device that I use. There's so many different fantastic devices on the market. And so, yeah, there's tons of different frequency specific microcurrent and PEMF technologies that can support the body from nervous system. And then the next one that I've been using, which I've noticed, I think it's taken my healing journey to that next level. Even as a parent, it's taken down my mom reactivity and all that kind of stuff, and has really brought me back into my body, as well as for my daughter and my dog. I have a 135-pound Bernese mountain dog who's skittish with everything, and this is the one thing that's actually calmed his nervous system, so he's a lot more grounded. And it's a light therapy device that you put on your body, and that pretty much, it stimulates or helps your body produce a copper peptide in your body, which then supports your body for inflammation, stem cell production, all that kind of stuff. And that's healing on a cellular level. So that's a light frequency technology. It pretty much emits your own body's light back into you, and that stimulates a copper peptide in your body, which helps regulate your nervous system. Yeah, that's been a pretty powerful tool.
Now, is this something that someone needs to go to a therapist for, or is this something that they can purchase for at home use,
Yeah,
or?
they can purchase it for home use. All the information is through my website, which will be posted on your notes. But that can be, we're in 84 countries for that device. So that device is really accessible for individuals that are wanting something home based.
Because I know a couple friends of mine, they've done the red light therapy. Is this something similar or
Similar, red light stimulates a different reaction in your body, right? So it's not the sun. The sun activates us to produce our own vitamin D in our body. And red light therapy does the same thing. So, red light from an inflammation standpoint is super huge. And so, it's similar from a light therapy perspective of yes, if you're exposed to this light, and in this sense, with this device, it's your own light being reflected back to you. But yes, it's similar in the sense of that light then stimulates something in your body. And like red light, it's inflammation. This as well too deals with inflammation, but more specifically that copper peptide. Really, how nervous system healing has been like a part of like my journey. I think for one of my biggest things is I had no idea how closed I was to the actual emotional work of everything. I thought I was open, and I've been doing deep healing work for intensely for the last 5 years. I'm always healing, but intensely, like becoming aware has been the last 5 years.
now what do
And
you mean by open?
for example, because my nervous system went into fight or flight, because I have spent my entire life needing to defend myself, I was never calm enough to actually hear the truth. So, in working with other coaches and other guides, and healers need healers, through the process of everything, there was a lot of things in my journey that would have gone in warp speed if my nervous system was calm. Like at the beginning of your healing journey, when you get into all the holistic stuff, I'm taking holy basil, I'm doing ashwagandha, I'm doing everything to calm my cortisol levels and deal with all the things that cortisol in the body deals with for women. So that ovarian cysts and endometriosis and all that fun stuff that we have to deal with because we're stressed out. So when it comes to all those things, I went on this unraveling journey, on this healing journey, understanding generational patterns, cycles, all of the above. And the beautiful thing is, as a guide now, I'm able to collapse those timelines. And that's the thing, is because with having those added nervous system support tools, it allows you to collapse timelines because you're more receptive to actually hearing the truth, because you're more receptive and more likely not to get so defensive. It's so interesting when I'm working with a client, if I'm running frequencies, whether it's PTSD or anxiety or fight or flight, and they just come back into their body and they're so much more receptive to the messages that I'm channeling and the guidance that I'm giving them instead of resisting it and then needing to fight or defend or challenge or anything like that. So it really allows us to communicate stronger. It allows us to hear better because we're no longer hearing through the lens of needing to protect ourselves. In my own journey, because I'm so strong-willed and headstrong for so many different things, having something actually go and bring me back into my body allowed me to get through some of the things a lot faster, and it's collapsed that healing. So what could have taken someone 35 years to come to the awareness, I'm able to do it a lot faster. And some people can take 6 months, some people take 6 years, some people could take their entire lifetime. But so having that additional support just allows you to actually get through the work instead of running. And many of us will run, right? We'll procrastinate, we'll dodge, we'll not answer correctly because it's really uncomfortable. The truth is really uncomfortable. And most people don't speak the truth, want to hear the truth, say the truth, because we're all caught up in our own judgments and all that kind of stuff. But, when you can actually not be afraid and be able to actually open that door. If the door is open, now I can actually walk through it. And that's the difference when you're calm, when you're grounded, when you're centered, when you're more in alignment, when you're actually physically present, you're able to do a lot more. Like even in my parenting, my nervous system has changed everything. Like I used to be such a reactive parent. whether you want to call me drama queen or all that kind of stuff. There's so much that I took personally. I was reactive and I didn't have the space. And once again, this is all what calming your nervous system does. It allows you the space to take those breaths. It allows you the space to then say, "Oh, I'm triggered. What's going on for me?" You know what I mean? It allows you enough space to actually potentially get a handle on the situation. So, as a parent, there's so many things that you react to right away. And now, because my nervous system is calm and I don't feel like it's attack or all that kind of stuff, because my nervous system's calm, if a cup spills, it spills. Like, yeah, we'll clean it up, right? But before, it was I was so reactive to everything just because I was literally walking on eggshells in my own life. And so it's totally changed my daughter's behavior. Now she can feel safe. Now she can talk. Now she's learning to regulate her own emotions, because if you can't regulate your stuff, you can't expect your child to. And so many people get caught in the child's behavior with parenting, but truly they're a reflection of you. So, in all aspects, right? And that awareness, going back to that first step, taking that awareness and having that awareness being like, something is off. I'm thrown off my horse. This isn't right. Like, how did I go from here to here? And it could even be a conversation. Someone just hits an owie or talks about something that you're freaking out over, that pokes at a fear that you have. All of a sudden, you're in reactive mode and you don't even realize how quickly you turn on a dime. And like I said, that nervous system work and doing those things, that it allows you enough space to hopefully catch yourself. And that's, we're human. Sometimes we're going to react, but if we have enough space and we're supporting our body to actually give us the space to reel it in, catch it, pivot, all that kind of stuff, that's the goal.
I love that. Now, is this sort of done once and it lasts forever? Or is this something when you're working with clients that you really need to do it on a constant basis?
It depends on what their body's saying, right? We all have our own stories, our own journeys, our own trauma and experiences. So for somebody, it's very deep rooted and deep seated, and that takes a lot of work and conscious choice every day to show up differently. And there's some people that, yeah, it's an easy fix because they weren't reactive. They haven't spent their life in survival mode, all that kind of stuff. Generally, now in Western society, most of us are carrying baggage in those areas. But truly, when it comes to supporting your body and supporting cellularly, that's something that we're always, unless you completely eradicate all the fear in your life and pretty much suppress your ego and say, nope, I'm not afraid of anything, your nervous system is still going to react. And so it's something that if you keep on living, you'll continue reacting. So it's a constant choice of, okay, how do I calm this? Now, once your cells are healed, or once you can release a lot of that from your fascia and all those stored emotions, yes, it's not something that you need to do every single day. But for most of us on the journey, it's something that you need for a little while. It's not a quick fix. Like, for 6 months, I'm going to take this and then everything's healed in my body. Like, we store 7 generations of cellular memory in our DNA. So it's going to take a second or two to actually start working through that and clearing that up. It's not an overnight, but that space that I talk about, that space can happen really fast when you start supporting your body with breath work and different supplementation and different tools. You can give yourself that space pretty quickly.
And I love how you started this out too. It's creating that awareness. And once you become aware and you see it trickling back into your life or into your day or into your hour, or when your child does knock the cup over, or when your skittish dog is who knows doing what, it's creating that awareness. And even with stress, once you have that awareness, it really changes everything.
Knowledge is so much power. And when I say power, it is empowerment. When you know what your reaction is and when you can understand yourself better, you feel more confident, you feel more in charge, you feel more in power because you know that you can co-create a different reality. And I think yeah, so having that awareness is potent and powerful in regards to moving forward.
So we're going to be wrapping this up. What are your final words of wisdom for the audience today?
Nervous system stuff was never something that I actually had on my awareness. And like you said at the beginning, it truly is a new buzzword, but as is generational healing, patterns, trauma, shadow work, all that kind of stuff. Like we're truly in a new era of actually doing the deep rooted healing work. And so it's just, once again, it's little moments every single day that to catch yourself, to know where you need the space. You know what I mean? And I think we can all live a very calm and aligned life, but truly it's just, yeah, one awareness at a time is really all that you need to start the path on finding that calm, finding that alignment for yourself.
Wonderful. I'll be putting her information wherever you're watching or listening to this. So if you have any questions, please reach out and ask your questions. So thank you so much. It was amazing, great information. And now I'm just leaving you a gentle reminder to slow down and enjoy life. And I'll see you in the next episode.